What's good, everyone? Please excuse my lateness on this. I know you had various YouTubers, pretty much everyone has talked about Eddie Long or the church or issues surrounding him. I don't know if what I'll say will add anything or be anything new that hasn't already been addressed, but I just wanted to get my input right quick. I was looking at this man's biography yesterday, and surprisingly, he's from North Carolina too. Like, I thought the man was from GA because I heard his name in Georgia mentioned a couple of times, so I thought the man was from Georgia. But nah, he's from NC. So it's like, yay, but then it's like, ooh. Like, my dad and my brother were having a conversation about, I think 1 or 2 days ago, and my dad was like, this is the same dude who's in that movie Daddy's Little Girls with Idris Elba, Gabrielle Union, and a couple other well-known actors and actresses. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. And so I looked at a couple of his pictures and I was like, yeah, that's the dude. That's him. He's basically in this scene where he's a pastor and he's preaching this powerful sermon about due season, I believe. And it was just Elba's character. He was feeling down and depressed because he wanted to get his girls back. So I guess that sermon was what he needed to give him the strength to keep doing what he was doing and keep fighting for his kids. And the pastor, Eddie Long, he ends off with, God bless you, and God bless you. And then the congregation starts clapping. That movie came out, I think, about 3 years ago. Here it is going on 3 years later where he's involved in a scam. Now that's life. It's like 1 minute you're feeling good, everything's going well. Then the next minute you're either down and out or you've been involved in a scam. It's crazy. Now, I don't know if what they said about him, is true, sleeping with those boys. But if it is, it's surprising to an extent because he was the pastor or the bishop or one of those titles, I believe, and his congregation, of course, is going to look up to him. He's not going to be perfect as a pastor. We're all going to stumble on occasions. That's just how it is, whether you're a pastor, a deacon, a usher, or anybody like that. I mean, you could be a Christian, a Muslim, a Catholic, or whatever you believe in. You're going to stumble. But it comes to a point where you have to say, you know what, I've made the same mistake before, and I can't do it again. It's one thing to mess up and you learn from it, but to keep doing it over and over again, eventually you're going to get screwed. And I don't know if that's what happened in Eddie Long's case. I don't know if he was just playing with fire and playing with fire and playing with fire and to the point where he got burned. But if it is, it's a little shocking coming from his position. Because being a pastor, bishop, etc. is no joke. It's a big responsibility. And you're responsible for leading everybody, the deacons, the ushers, everybody in the congregation, the church. And you're responsible for doing the Lord's work, especially if you was called. Now, you have some pastors that do it because they want the benefits or they want the glitz and glamour or they want to be a superstar or something else like that. So they really don't care about the people. They just care about themselves and they care about being shown in the spotlight. But then you have the pastors that was in it from the get-go, that were born to be pastors, that was born to preach, that was born to teach, and that was born to try to help as many people as they can, try to save the lost and disciple the saved, stuff like that. They're out there. And I believe most of them, they come from small churches or they have moderate churches. I don't think most of them are going to be in the mega churches, the T.D. Jakes, the Joel Ornsteins, etc., etc. So you're never going to really hear about them. They're out there, but you don't expect them to be in the spotlight or be in the news or, ESPN. I'm not ESPN, but CNN, news stations like that. But like I said before, if this whole thing with Eddie Long is true, about him messing with boys, it's not really surprising because you hear about these incidents. Not only, pastors, messing with, doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, but just issues, stuff in general in society. I was watching a video where you had this grandmother, I repeat, this is a grandmother, sleeping with her grandson. And the reason why she did it is because I believe she was trying to get a demon out of him or something like that. Like, could you imagine our grandmothers doing that stuff? Well, of course, my grandmothers may, rest in peace. But it just shows you where we're at. I mean, things that you wouldn't expect to happen probably about over a decade ago, is happening. It's like morals and values in society is almost non-existent. I mean, it's pretty scary. It shows you where we're at. It's to the point where we've become desensitized with all this negative stuff that's happening around us that we just accept it as the norm. I mean, that's just the way I see it. So, with Bishop Eddie Long, if he did what he did, it's surprising, but then it's not surprising to an extent. So, and on that note, you guys take it easy, stay blessed, peace.